So I built Are You Sure because I wanted a simple way to reduce my screen time. Essentially, I was looking to help break a common loop. I'd pick up my phone to check something, and then maybe like 20 minutes later, I'd be halfway down a rabbit hole without an intent anymore. So I wanted to build a tool that didn't just lock apps, but instead helped me understand why I was opening them in the first place. So the first thing you do in Are You Sure is define the apps you want to lock. And then you define an unlock duration. And that duration essentially defines how long an app will be able to be used for once you unlock it. And then you could set one or many screen time alternatives. These are things that are going to be prompted to you when you try to open an app, and they're meant to give you a moment of pause. Essentially, give you a moment to think, hey, maybe this is something I'd rather do instead. So let's see how this works using Reddit as an example. Clicking to open Reddit, you're going to get a very simple question. Are you sure you want to use Reddit? And right up front, you could simply just say, no, I'm good. But if for some reason you felt compelled that you wanted to use the app a little bit more, you could click Tell Yourself Why. And when you do that, you're going to get an alert, which you then press. And now we're in the core of Are You Sure? How would a moment of screen-free time feel instead of using this app? And time away from the screen would feel pretty good, so I'm going to close this. And each time I try to open Reddit, click Tell Yourself Why, I'm going to get a different question. So in this case, the question is, every minute you spend using this app is a minute taking away from, and this is something I entered that I wanted to do more of, which is walking outside. And then asked me how I'd feel about that trade-off. So in this case, let's answer. And once I have an answer and submit, I'm going to be asked to reflect on that answer. And because I don't really have a good reason or intent to open Reddit, I'm just going to click no. And this is where that focus on intent really comes into play. Now that I've given that answer, if I go over to the reflect view and then open Reddit, you can see that it basically stores a history of every time I've tried to unlock that app, the questions that I was asked, and then the answers that I gave to those questions. It also tracks how many attempts I've made to unlock this app, and how many unlocks I've actually done. So I always have this history to come back to see how I'm progressing and really get to understand the intent or what's driving me to open these apps over time. So yeah, nice and simple and purpose-built. So let's open settings. Here you have the option to export your history. You could also choose to delete your history completely as well. Export's pretty nice though, because if you want to see patterns in behavior, you could basically get a full export of all your questions and answers and see what patterns are really driving that intent over time. So with that, it's probably a good time to talk about the privacy settings of this app. Essentially, everything is local to your phone only. I don't have any tracking in the application, there's no accounts, no subscriptions. It's all just on your device. The goal here was to build something that I or you could use to basically understand what motivates you to open apps, and then hopefully help you change your habits a bit. So yeah, I hope this helps you find a little more space in your day like it's helped me. And if you do find it helpful, I'm glad to hear about it. Thanks for checking this out. Take care.